Hi, my name is Odyssey, and I make art for people who love fantasy. Today, I realized very quickly that I need to actually practice more on anatomy. And overall, I've always wanted to just improve on a base level. I think the moment that you think that you're the best at something, you stop learning immediately. And so I always take a level of, how do I say this? A level of new student, like level one. And you basically have to accept that you will always learn because you will never be the best at absolutely everything. Like one person can specialize in one area and then another person can specialize in another area. So, say, for example, I may specialize in digital illustrations, but I may suck at watercolor or something along those lines. Like, you get your meaning. Everyone learns something from someone else, and there's always room to improve. So, right now, I'm trying out anime style, and I very quickly realized that I am very limited to very basic gestures, and I really want to get more into how to actually draw people realistically and really good, uh, basically really, really good positions. Because you can't just draw people standing there, just, putting their hands in your pockets. And yeah, no, it's a very lazy way to be. So if I want to improve as an artist, I need to really, really hunker down and try and draw anatomy. And better yet, try and learn how to draw it from imagination, because that's the hardest part, is learning how to build that photo library that you have in your head. So right now I'm going through some of the structures of muscle that males have, specifically because I want to learn how to draw males better, especially with all those ridiculous muscles. It's stupid how many muscles that the human anatomy actually has. There's too many. There's too many. It was a mistake. But here we are, and yeah, so now I'm just going through all of the muscles here and just trying to get a basic form of it, not going into too much detail, just trying to roughly go through it and really focusing on the negative space. Now, if you don't know what negative spaces are, they are basically the space that does not include what you're drawing, the subject that you're drawing. And it's then the space in between. So say, for example, like the two forearms here, you have a negative space in between those two, and that's really important to capture. And even right now, this one I'm drawing here, it has a lot of negative space, and you can use those rules to help get the proportions right in your character. So there is so much negative space, obviously, around this character, but you can draw lines, imaginary lines in your head as reference lines to make sure that your alignment within your drawing is correct and the proportions get better and all that kind of stuff. And also, this image here specifically has a lot of foreshortening. So you have the right hand closer to you and the left hand further away from you, and like obviously the left hand is going to be smaller than the right hand. And it's really, really good to try and practice those things, because they do get really, really hard. And here is also another one that I'm trying to draw, just roughly going through it. The shapes are always necessary with this sort of things. Focus on shapes rather than the detail of things, and try and keep your line work relatively clean. My line work here is so messy, but I think it's really important to try and not chicken scratch. If you don't know what chicken scratching is, it's basically where you go over the same line over and over and over again with your pencil, and you create this really, really, really nasty thick line. And I do it quite often here, but you want to try and avoid that as much as possible. And here I'm just going through leg anatomy as well. I find you see those lines that I'm making, it helps emphasize the actual form and shape of the actual leg itself. So it's very cylindrical, as you can see, and again, every single part of the body is just shapes. There's cylinders, rectangles, triangles, the whole shebang. And once you start breaking them down in the human anatomy, they become quite easy to draw. But again, it's all about trying to learn how to do this from the mind, which is not exactly the most easiest thing to do. I always admired people who can actually do this from imagination, and it's just incredible. And right now you can see that I'm drawing like little stick figures, and those are really helpful for the overall form. Now I'm moving on to female anatomy, and to be honest, I prefer drawing females over to males. I don't necessarily find them easier. It's just, I think drawing females is really, really cool because I really love drawing like really strong females and really interesting characters more than just like pretty girls, although I do have quite a large selection of just pretty girls in my portfolio, but I absolutely love drawing really strong women fighting or like medieval style. I think that's really, really cool. And right here you can see I'm trying to get the overall gesture of this image, and I think I managed to capture it decently well. Again, just focusing on those elements of the shapes. Now I'm drawing a more curvaceous woman here. She really caught my eye just because she was just like, she was so beautiful the way she was just sitting there, and I just really wanted to challenge myself drawing different shapes. And obviously everyone has their own shape, and you can't just draw one person in one shape because, again, boring, and number two, you're not including everyone. Like you're limiting yourself to becoming a very one-trick wonder artist, and so you've got to draw all types of people. Now this one I'm sort of practicing with different positions. This one is more of a more of a action pose than anything else. I did struggle a little bit with this, and you can probably tell a little bit from like I struggled so much on the left foot here, and even though it's covered, like I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, how does that foot even work there? But because it's covered by the box, it doesn't really matter. But I do need to get better at drawing feet as well. Now, the good thing about this one here that I'm drawing here is the line of action. That's really, really important when you're actually drawing a character, is that line of action. And it's basically the overall gravity of the person that you're drawing, and where the action is going in the actual drawing as well. That's what the line of action really helps with. And again, stick figures here, it's really, really important to get those stick figures right. Otherwise, you can get a lot of your proportions wrong within your drawing, I find. So I find the little stick figures here really, really help. And so this one's a dancer, and I thought she was just so cool. And it was such a strong pose that I really wanted to draw it. And the previous one, the fighting one, who doesn't want to draw someone who's like kicking mid-air or anything like that? That's really cool. And then I just do minor shading just to give it a little bit more form. And then next, I actually think I'm drawing a very muscular woman. Now, this is probably one of my favorite type of women to draw, just because strong females, they're so cool. And who doesn't love drawing really, really strong females? And I love drawing warriors specifically. Now, I need to actually get better at drawing anatomy for stronger women, especially from imagination. And this is just the process of doing it. It's just learning those shapes. It's learning how to convert shapes from your imagination into reality, and building that photo library within your head. And now I'm just working through everything. As you can see, I'm just keeping everything really like not so detailed, and the line work, it's messy, but I don't care, it's a sketch. Now this one, I just wanted to basically get more of a feel of more of a smooth pose, and it was just a very quick one that I wanted to finish on. But yeah, I loved these, and they were really, really fun to draw, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep drawing. Bye.